Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Right now, we're talking about James Gunn getting into DC as co-CEO of DC movies and TV shows. Absolutely insane stuff that's happening. And today, to talk with us, we got our own Doc Chris.
That's right, bringing my own weird, wonderful takes, just like James Gunn movies.
Yeah. So there's been a rumble in the major geek moviedom and TVdom. James Gunn, as you know, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Suicide Squad, writer and director of Suicide Squad, has now been poached by DC to be the co-CEO of DC movies and TV shows. And I cannot be happier. Some people, very few people, see this as an L. I see this as a big W. Why? Because when Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, was making movies in Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, right? He saw across the pond, across the way, across the office, Warner Brothers and what DC was doing. They were coming out with a little movie called Justice League. And Kevin Feige said, holy crap, we have to do something to go against that. So he rushed to make Captain America Civil War with a bunch of different comic book characters and a bunch of people up on screen that wasn't supposed to be until they saw what DC and Warner Brothers was doing. Competition breeds excellence. And because James Gunn is a problem, right? He's delivered unto Marvel some great movies, all right? Some great absolute bangers of movies. He made the Guardians of the Galaxy go from who? Or from what is this property? No one knew what it was. I didn't know what it was. Our very own Greg had to tell me. I'm like, yo, who are these Guardians of the Galaxy? I have no idea. Now they're a household name. Now everybody knows who they are. And he went on to fix the Suicide Squad. Fix it! They fixed Suicide Squad.
Because it was broken.
Absolutely. So James Gunn is a powerhouse. So I think him being CEO at DC, making the decisions, people have to go through him in order to finalize everything, because he's not going to be directing things, right? But he is going to be Kevin Feige, overseeing projects, making sure things from the dailies each day are up to snuff, up to par. Plus, he has the comic book know-how. You can talk to him for hours. He's the kind of guy, the kind of CEO where we're like, oh, hey, can you tell me about Polka Dot Man? And he can tell you, he talk to you hours about this tertiary, like whatever character that he made you care about in a movie. How insane and how talented is a person where he's just like, hey, I'm going to put this Ratcatcher 2 and Polka Dot Man in my movie, and there are some of the most heartfelt and most engaging parts of the movie. What? It's insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, competition breeds excellence. Now, hopefully, Kevin Feige is going to try over at Marvel, because I believe old boy has been kind of skating on whatever. Director's been coming in, right, doing whatever they want. Kevin Feige's like, yep, this is good. Okay, here you go. But there's also a rumor that Bob Chapek, aka Bob Paycheck, the head of Disney, has been tying Kevin Feige's hand behind his back. It's a rumor. Nobody knows if it's true, and Kevin Feige's been less involved with all the stuff there. But competition breeds excellence. Again, when James Gunn when Kevin Feige saw that DC was doing Justice League, he rushed to do Civil War and brought out that banger of a movie. It's one of the best Marvel movies, in my opinion, of all time. But Chris, you see James Gunn going over to the DC side. Last Guardians of the Galaxy movie is happening next year with Part 3. And this December, we're getting the Christmas one. But other than that, no more Marvel for him. Exclusive contract. What do you think about him heading up DC TV and movies?
I'm not really super surprised, because he's always said that, after Guardians 2 came out, he basically said, like, I have one more in me and I want to do a Christmas special, but that's it. Like, then he was good. Like, obviously, he got all the heat from past Twitter comments and whatnot that he dealt with already. And, Disney hired him knowing that was the case. And so he dealt with that storm. DC doesn't seem to care. And that's all kind of in the past now. And yeah, what he did with Suicide Squad was amazing. Like, this dude knows how to make a fun freaking movie. And he knows that comic book movies need to be like comic books. One of the big things with Zack Snyder is it felt like he was just taking himself too seriously most of the time, which, makes for a dark, broody movie, but you can only do that so many times. So having someone that knows how to bring the fun, I mean, a giant, like, tentacle eyeball wreaking havoc and just 5 people are trying to take him down. Like, dude knows how to make a freaking fun movie.
Hell yeah.
Very excited about that. One thing we haven't talked about yet is alongside him is producer Peter Safran. And if you look at his credits, he's done a few of some of the, first of all, he's got producer credits on a couple of the more like the more successful or the more different, the things that followed their own beat DC properties like Aquaman, Shazam, and of course the Suicide Squad. And he's also been behind pretty much every property in the Conjuring universe. And those movies, again, are fun as hell. Like they know they're scary, but like they know what they are, they know what their audience is, and they know how to play with expectations. So I think between the two of them, like spearheading this whole thing, we're in for probably some different, some much more fun, lighter, yet like much more powerfully character driven stuff than we've seen before. Like think of Man of Steel. Man of Steel was a great kickoff to everything, but was it a really good character study for Superman? Not necessarily. Which is why I think James Gunn is coming in with a plan, and that's also probably why we're seeing Henry Cavill step back into the role. Is like he wouldn't just walk away from The Witcher unless someone came to him with a solid plan. And James Gunn, I don't think it's an accident that James Gunn being announced as heading this DC stuff at the same time that they reveal Henry Cavill's coming back. That's not an accident.
Dude, it's such a W for DC. I mean, DC has needed this course correction for so long now. I mean, listen, all you Zack Snyder fans, like, it wasn't that great. All right. During Zack Snyder era wasn't that great. He's a great visual director, but his writing is not that great. I mean,
No.
I don't know if anyone has seen or know about that interview like years ago where Zack Snyder was all just like, oh, Superman, I can't wait to tear him down. He's the enemy. I can't wait to deconstruct this guy. It's like, what? The golden boy, the the saving cats from trees, the most golden age, like heartfelt hero. It's ridiculous.
You can do that if there's a good reason in the story to do it. But guess what? He didn't give us a good reason.
No, he never did. Like Zack Snyder writes like an edgy emo 15-year-old boy, and it's so ridiculous. Like the dude is just like, oh, it'd be great if Superman was like dark and edgy and he's brooding and he hates people, and like I'm like, what's going on here? And the whole tone of DC with Zack Snyder being their Kevin Feige, like him having the key. Oh man, I mean, no ill will to Zack Snyder the person, but critically his style wasn't that great for DC. I don't think he was the guy for the job. And if he wanted to be that visual director, but have an actual good writer, I mean, I would have been all for that. I mean, I think he's a great visual director, but dude, like your stories, your tone were just way too dark. And for all these different, like, all this whole like cavalcade of heroes we have here, I mean, was every hero going to come in and be dark and brooding and pissed off? I mean, you had Cyborg be so broody and pissed off, and it was just, bro, it's Cyborg. He's so angry and mad and pouty and like, bro, come on. Contrast that to the Cyborg we all grew up with Teen Titans, the Justice League, and he's all like, booyah, yeah. He's like the life of the party, and it's like, holy crap. So DC has need a big W and a big win for a long time, and I think James Gunn is going to do that. Obviously, not every show and everything is going to be like the tone of Peacemaker, because I've been seeing that online too. Some people saying how they didn't care for Peacemaker. It's like, bro, he's not going to be directly, making these things. He's going to be the head of a studio, right? So, I mean, he might direct maybe one or two things, who knows, but his role is to be the creative side, to be the Kevin Feige, to make the decisions and choices. And Key Wampus, I agree. I love Peacemaker. I think we both liked it, Chris, right?
I never finished it. I got like 2 episodes in. Yeah,
you didn't really want to taste it? What?
I checked it out. I mean, I checked it out a little bit. It was fine. From what I saw through there, it just didn't hook me as much as other stuff did. But also, like, one of the reasons that James Gunn is leaving Marvel, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, is he's basically did what he wanted to do and he's moving on. Which means with Peacemaker, like, he did that and he's probably moving on. We're not gonna get. He's enough of. I think we've seen enough from James Gunn to know that he makes stuff that is different and it doesn't all follow the same like formula. And that's kind of his big thing, is take something that is formulaic and make it different. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Dude, yeah. I'm excited for this new era of DC. I'm excited to see where he takes things through, because I mean, when you look at other studios like, let's say Star Wars and Lucasfilm, I mean, like, the head there, Kathleen Kennedy, if you were to talk to her about like Darth Bane, you think she'd be able to talk to you hours about Darth Bane and the Rule of Two? No. Like, I really don't think so. I mean, and is it a requirement? Like, maybe not, but I think it's a big plus, right? Like when you look at like a resume, it's like, big plus, not a requirement, but a big plus. But here you have someone at the helm like Kevin Feige who can talk to you and wax poetic hours about all these different characters. And DC has needed this and needed someone who has the vision, who knows. So let's say, they hire a director, hey, we want to make, the Green Lantern Corps movie. They hire a certain director, James Gunn will be able to talk to that person, see where they're at, take a look at their script and be like, okay, well, this is not really let's take a different direction of like this part of the movie because the Green Lantern Corps really wouldn't do this, right? He's an actual person in DC now at Warner Brothers who's able to do this now because all they had is just like executives over there. That's it. And that's who's been making these movies. I mean, David Ayer, who did the first Suicide Squad, said that, hey, that wasn't my movie, the financial release. Yep. That was the studio, right? They put all those colorful text in there. They put all that music in there, trying to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy. He said that wasn't mine. That was all them doing that. So you had executives making all these movies, and that's not who should be in charge of making these art pieces.
Yeah, James Gunn isn't coming in as Kathleen Kennedy. He's coming in as Jon Favreau.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good. That's a good. Yeah. I think he would like that. Yeah, James Gunn, you hear that? that's a pretty damn good compliment. Jon Favreau, the guy who's pretty much made the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was happy in the Iron Man movies. He's created the Mandalorian. He's him and Dave Filoni single-handedly saving Star Wars right now, which we'll go into in a little bit. But yeah, man. Like Chris, anything else to talk about in regards to James Gunn taking over as co-CEO with Safran there?
No, man, I'm excited for it. I like his movies. Very excited to see his brother Sean Gunn show up in cameos in pretty much every one of these. Girls. Love it. Very excited for that.
Yeah, he puts his brother in everything.
Everything.
It's funny because his brother's like, "Yep, let's do it." And not only that, but his brother would be the weirdest characters, the wackest. He was I think the rat creature's name that
So he was Weasel in Suicide Squad.
Yes.
He was even though he ended up having a decent role in Guardians 2, he was the one in the wearing the green screen suit puppeteering Rocket on set. So they had a reference point. So dude came to play. I'm just saying Sean Gunn to James Gunn is like Ted Raimi to Sam Raimi.
Yeah, I love it. His brother's like, yeah, man, I'm whatever. You need to be put in a rat costume and be this evil weird creature who just goes all the time. Let's fucking go. I love it. His brother's down for it. Gotta love supportive family like that. But yeah, guys, what do you think about James Gunn being added as co-CEO to Safran and over there at DC? Finally, DC gets a big W in the realm of geek movies, and competition breeds excellence. Kevin Feige, listen, I know he recently said that he'd be the first one in line for James Gunn's movies, but hey, man, I hope you're going to feel a little bit of sweat. You're going to pay more attention to what's going on down there at Marvel because all these reports down there have not been too good.
It just means more good stuff, even if it's across the aisle. Who doesn't want, even though most of us lean more Marvel, who doesn't want more fun movies?
Yes, exactly. And that's really what we want out of these movies. DC doesn't have to be dark and dour. That's kind of the meme here. But, there could be fun, light-spirited movies. And he kind of did that with Suicide Squad. He showed that, there can be dark and broody at times, but also lighthearted and great. So, I'm happy for James Gunn. Couldn't happen to a better guy. I mean, I don't know how far along down the road he was going to be at Marvel, but this is a really good position. And DC's going to win because of this. We'll see. Could also be a very bad choice. But hey, man, I mean, the person to putting his creative style, his know-how, and his knowledge really lends to it. He's going to give DC a big W in the future. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about the appointing of James Gunn and Safran, and we'll see you guys later. See you another time.